Hey, what is up guys? So we are going to be going over the top 10 best and most popular cards for competitive decks. Now this is a list that is also taking OCG into consideration because that is where a lot of this information comes from. But I also wanted to mention real quick, there are some other cards that we'll mention here, but they're conditional to certain archetypes. For example, Fossil Dig is in a lot of competitive decks, however it's conditional to one archetype. But like you said guys, let's go ahead and jump right into the list. Keep in mind these are only for competitive decks. Decks that have actually won. We're not talking about no Lunalights. I know there might be a lot of Lunalight players out here, but those aren't going to be the most popular cards because those decks don't really win. Like, I'm sorry, Mr. Crystal Beast Sapphire Pegasus, but you won't be on this list, even though it's a very popular card. We're talking about like competitive decks and decks that would actually win. Alright, anyways, now that I triggered Crystal Beast players, let's go ahead and get started, boys. The first one is Maxi. This is an exact order of like 1 through 10 right here. But anyways, Maxi is the most popular card. Now, right now in the OCG, it's at multiple, so obviously the stats will be higher, but as far as percentage-wise in decks, who not playing Maxi here? Alright, let's be honest. Maxi, it wins games. Alright, it's a self-explanatory card. Next up, Ghost Ash and Beautiful Spring or Joyous Spring. While the card is very expensive for good reasons, because the card is great. So many decks are just maxing out on these. Just because in the TCG, we also have technically more room because of the whole Maxi. Obviously, if Maxi was at multiple, I'm sure people would be playing Maxis because who ain't playing Zodiacs, right? In the competitive scene, like almost every deck is going to be running the Rat Beer. But anyways, yeah, really popular card. Next up, Cosmic Cyclone. This is, oh, by the way, I should also mention this is also technically including side decks because it's just people that are running these decks. This is more relevant in the side deck as far as running like, you know, multiple copies, but a lot of decks are still main decking a few of these, or they're doing the Twin Twisters. But the reason why this card is so great is there's so many different cards, even coming out in the future, that are all about like, I can banish this card from my graveyard, or if this card is destroyed, I get another card, or they get something else out of it. But if it is just banishing it, they don't really get any effect. However, the Metal Fizz archetype, if you banish some other cards, they're like, sweet dude. So keep that in mind as well, depending on the deck that you're playing against. But Cosmic Cyclone is just like the more relevant spell and trap card as of right now as far as popularity goes. The Twin Twisters is not far behind. But next up, Terraforming. I mean, it basically searches out this card, as well as some other archetypes. They have field spells like the ABC. There's still a lot of archetypes that will be coming out in the game, and I believe in OCG this is actually at 2, so they actually did hit the Terraforming, but nonetheless, Terraforming is still a very popular card because it just works well. Any deck that has field spells. Next up, this is more relevant in OCG, but it still is an excellent excellent card. So Skull Meister over here. During either player's turn, when a card effect is activated in your opponent's graveyard, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard to negate that effect. And this card will probably be relevant for a very long time. Plus, it's got okay stats. So in the off chance that you need to summon it, plus it's got the level 4. So you go for some rank 4. It's still pretty overall solid card. Then Twin Twisters, pretty self-explanatory. It's just one of the optimal spell and trap removal. A lot of people are actually side decking this. Like I've seen as far as deck profiles go. If they're not main decking Cosmic Cyclones already, this card usually gets put in because there's a lot of cards that can completely stop your opponent from playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And those are due to side deck cards, and then Twin Twister can just get rid of those relatively easy because you get to pop 2 of them. Next up, Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. Really good, just can stop some combo plays from going off. Plus, it also is a tuner, just overall solid card. And this card I had to reprint, so most of you guys should have access to it. Now, this one is mostly for the OCG, but Harpy's Feather Duster is legal over there, so it's still a really relevant card. And then we have Effect Veiler. Pretty self-explanatory, can negate effects, cards that search out things, pretty good stuff. And then Lancia. This is actually a really good card, just even if you're on the offensive side, just so your opponent can't like banish anything to maybe get some extra effects, maybe stop you from attacking and going off, and it can be used defensively if your opponent is trying to make some plays. Just an overall solid card. Again, this one's more OCG relevant than TCG, which comes into our next card, which is Regeki. A lot of people side decking this card, a lot of people main decking it. It's just an overall solid border removal. In the OCG, they actually do not have this card, so at that point, Dark Hole is a really relevant card. for them. And now we're getting to like the top. That was the top 10. This was in pretty much exact order. Although it technically on some of these tournaments that aren't official Konami related, these numbers might be a little bit different. Just as a heads up. But Pot of Desire is still a very popular card. I was surprised it wasn't as popular in the OCG because I was like, okay, did it get hit or something? Nah, they just don't favor some of the cards. It's just kind of stats. I mean, the stats won't lie, boys. But anyways, next up, Gamma Seal. It's pretty much the kaiju to go to because it has 2200 attack, and obviously with most of the kaijus you're going to be running over them anyways. But Gamma Seal also technically works with Mermails, so if Mermails ever get some more support that's actually relevant in the game, then yeah, this card will be even more popular later down the line. And then we have Dimension Barrier. This one's more TCG oriented as well. More people play in the TCG because it's like you flip it up and you win games. Let's put it that way. Sometimes the next card also I would say is more TCG relevant as far as like the popularity goes, and that is simply due to in the OCG Zodiacs they got that one rat, but it's still relevant to see this card in the OCG, but it's just again not as relevant. Although I think in OCG Burning Abyss technically still has a lot more power. But nonetheless, Flying Sea is still a great card. There's actually a card that counters this, which we'll get into in a second. But anyways, next up, Dragonic Diagram. There's a few more other cards that I wanted to mention, which we'll get into later. However, they're very conditional to an archetype. However, Dragonic Diagram was for True Dracos. However, Dinosaurs are running it. Heck, 6 Samurais are going to be playing this. Like this card just has way too much utility. In the OCG, it's actually at 1, but obviously in the TCG, this one has higher numbers. But if we're going by percent wise, it's still high in the OCG just because it's such an insanely good card. This one is another more TCG oriented card, but Card of Demise, still a pretty good card. Probably one of the insane draw power cards that I think a lot of people wanted this card to be hit, and yeah, it hasn't really been hit at all. In the OCGs, apparently that's at 2, but we're good to go in the TCG at 3. Next up, Forbidden Chalice. Excellent card to side deck against your opponent when they side deck those Flying Seas. Of course, if you're playing a deck that really needs to exceed, expect to see this in the side deck, so therefore you can counter their side deck with Chalice. But Chalice is just overall solid. I like this card a lot. Highly recommend just even main decking a few of these. I really liked it back when ABC was super popular. It just helped out a ton. I know this deck isn't as popular in the TCG as it is in the OCG. This deck is still actually pretty strong in the OCG. But then we have just the Solemns. Now, these are in... Technically, these orders can be mixed up because, again, if we're going by OCG, TCG, and different tournament lists, these can be kind of mixed up. But this top 10, this one is pretty solid over here. This one's more relevant in the OCG, just as a heads up. But I also want to mention, give a shout out to the ABC Buster Dragon. The deck is still pretty strong in the OCG, and in the TCG, I forgot what exactly is hit. I don't really think we had anything really hit, but going into the future with the whole Link Summon mechanic, I feel like this card, well, this whole archetype kind of lacks the ability that it had before to just be able to go for a first turn Buster Dragon, then you go for the Bujin card where you would be able to just send your whole hand to the graveyard and then draw 2 cards without going for like a Link monster in the first place. Like that takes a little bit of extra effort, but again, sometimes some decks just survive ban lists. You guys remember the E-Dragons? How many ban lists did that deck survive before they finally killed it? But next up though, I also wanted to mention Dinosaurs in general are still very strong. I didn't put any of these cards, even though some of these cards would be considered like in the top 20, but they were conditional to archetype, so I wanted to give this list more of a feel where every player can pretty much run most of these cards, with the exception of maybe like Dragonic Diagram, where if you're not playing a deck that has Terraforming, then obviously yeah, but for the most part, most of these can be splashed into very many decks, or even this side deck. But yeah, Dinosaurs still doing pretty good, and surprisingly, this card is actually doing really hot. The actual name is Set Rotation. I know it says Festival Stream, but that's the OCG name. But anyways, really good card. Go over its effect real quick, and it says set 2 field spell cards with different names directly from your deck to the field, 1 on each side. While either of those cards remain face down on the field, neither player can activate or set other field spell cards, so you can kind of lock your opponent out. Can be a very dirty card. And then this one's still, I would consider this more of a TCG relevant card, but the Zodiac Rat Pierre is still a very powerful card. And again, some of these cards like Flying Sea, they're more relevant in the TCG simply because of the whole Zodiac archetype. But lastly over here we have the Trick Stars, pretty much like all of them. The deck's still very hot, guys. I know we don't have it in the TCG yet, so obviously the reason why this is one of the most popular like meta cards for competitive play is because, well, everyone's playing it, going to be playing 3 of the Kadinas. This is pretty much the heart and soul of the Trickstar archetype, but hopefully you guys enjoyed seeing what is like the most popular as far as you know, what is meta in terms of what cards people are running. But yeah, this is the list. If you guys felt like I missed out on any cards that we really should have shouted out here, let me know down below in the comment section below. But yeah, that is a list for the meta cards, and I'll probably be making like one of these videos for like a side deck option. But again, this is just for some of you guys to maybe get a hold of some of these cards to look into the future, because again, a lot of this information was taken from the OCG as well as tournament reports. But keep in mind, OCG does use link summons, but yeah. What can you do really about that? Until we get to add the link summon mechanic, some decks and archetypes will be stronger. Like right now, Pendulum's not too bad. They actually, I'll do a deck profile. There was one Magician guy that actually topped playing Pendulum. There was actually a Klee player. Anyways, I'm ranting off about other videos in the future, but I guess you guys got that secret DLC information. But there it is, guys. Those are the list of the top 10 plus bonus extra cards of, you know, what's popular and what's meta in the game for the competitive scene of Yu-Gi-Oh! But hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like on it. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button so you never are out of the loop as far as knowing what cards are in the meta. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys, and I'm signing out.